Sundays, with which is where we are looking at spiritual practices, and then we're discussing them, and we are inviting people in for a conversation. And we're going to move to a new format next week, which we should talk about at some point during today's session. But before we do that, just welcome from me, Mike Warwick. I'm in London.
For me.
Yeah, Mason. Hi.
And Jeremy, you're in. What? Remind people where you're at now. You're in.
I'm on Vancouver Island. I'm in Comox.
Comox.
Yeah.
Mason, where are you now?
Vancouver Island.
Yeah, and I'm in Ontario right now, but I'll be joining Jeremy in Comox pretty soon, a couple days. Yeah.
Right. So there's like a triangle between London and two bits of Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So what we're going to talk about today?
We're going to talk about the difference between esoteric and exoteric, which is two fairly distinct things, and most people don't really know the difference. And so, what do you think the difference is?
I just did a quick search. I just did a quick look into it, and I thought that esoteric seemed to be something inner and more specific to one person, and that exoteric is relates to other people or the collective or the whole or more than one. So that's the all I really am super familiar with those words.
Hmm.
But that's not all that I know.
I know
Yeah.
exoteric also has a lot to do with can do a lot with scriptures and formulas, and esoteric is a more internal thing.
Hmm.
Not necessarily more internal, but it's usually esoteric relates to small groups, small intimate groups.
Okay.
Well, for me, I've got a slightly different way of looking at it. I mean, for me, because maybe we'll come back to that idea about small groups. Maybe that is important. I've got a feeling that maybe we are entering a time when bigger groups of people can engage in esoteric practices and share their experience because of the connective technology that we've got now. But so for me, it's the thing not knowing the difference between exoteric and esoteric, and misunderstanding the word esoteric has put me off religion for life, because I didn't understand the difference between the outward forms, which is kind of like kind of the moral things that you have to do, like the Ten Commandments: don't do this, don't do this, but don't do this, and then kind of ceremonies and things like that. And then for me, I was mistaking religion as just the outside shell, like the stuff, like the churches and the priests and all of that kind of stuff. That's the exoteric stuff. That's the stuff on the outside. That's like the shell. And then the esoteric is the stuff inside, which is your lived experience, which is of, finding out about yourself on the deepest level, and getting to know what it means to be in a cosmos, an unlimited cosmos, and all of that. And so the esoteric practices all lead you to the same place, which is closer to knowing your relationship with everything that is. And the exoteric is the different ways things show up. So that's why you could be someone saying, my religion is the true religion, and the other person going, no, it's not, you're completely wrong. But if they, underneath the surface, at the heart of both of those two paths, are the same practices of compassion and prayer and meditation and looking after people, and like putting other people before you sometimes, serving them, and gratitude and abundance and light and love and peace and kind of like community and connection. And that's the esoteric practices. And I thought that meant you were like worshipping like triangles and kind of getting kind of the esoteric. I thought it was a bit to do with the East, but it's not. It's all the heart-based inner work that you do that every religious path offers, but sometimes you can't see past the surface. Sorry, that was a massive long rant, but that's what I was
No,
thinking.
it's past the surface of the exoteric.
Exoteric's all the surface stuff, all the outside stuff. Esoteric's
Yeah,
all the inside stuff, the inner work, which is the same for all of us across all paths and all traditions. It's the unity, the unified. It's the unity underneath all the forms. The
yeah,
esoteric, and it's nothing strange. It's just like meditation, being kind, using gratitude practice, looking after your neighbors, loving thy enemies, which is, we could do a whole thing on why would you love your enemies? Because on an exoteric way of thinking, that's stupid. But on an esoteric way, you understand that's not stupid because that's how you come into peace and you heal yourself is by realizing you don't have any enemies.
yeah. Well, I think exoteric is also has structure to it. So there's different structures to follow. And esoteric doesn't tend to have structures in the same kind of way. Like you said, like with the Ten Commandments, or in yogic terms, there's called yamas and niyamas. So the do's and the don'ts in the yoga world. With Patanjali wrote the Book of Yoga Sutras, which involves a lot of the yamas and niyamas, the do's and don'ts. And so that would be exoteric then.
But necessary as well. It's just I think my one of the points I'm kind of trying to communicate as best as I can. I mean, not that you guys. I think not. I don't mean that this is something that I've got that nobody else has got. It's just I think it's a really important thing for more and more and more of us, for all of us, is to recognize, is not to throw away religion because we've got stuck with just because I was so anti-religion because I had thought that the exoteric defined that particular religious path, but it's actually the esoteric practices that lead you into experience that I've always been attracted to. And I think it's quite important for people to have structures because the exoteric supports the esoteric. Like following the Ten Commandments is, it really helps you to be kind and to stay out of conflict. So
Yeah,
going to mass and saying, God, I did this and I really wish I hadn't, really that's a profound practice. It's a
yeah,
profound spiritual practice. And I think for me, I'm making it into a bigger point than it actually is because it has a huge effect in the world if people turn their backs on goodness,
yeah.
which you
Do you
can,
find that?
I think you can do that because then you start, if religion's like you're rejecting religion, and then if you can't find meaning in a political movement, and a lot of people can't find meanings in political movements right now, then you have, and it's difficult for people if they're separated. We're all separated from each other, and we don't have the support of an esoteric, an exoteric, the support, the practices, the rituals, the traditions, and kind of all the kind of rites of passage, and all the things that bind you together in community. Like going to services, or kind of like having a church fete, or going to the mosque, or wherever. I mean, I'm not mentioning every single religious path when I'm speaking now, but I do include them all when I'm speaking about religion. I
Yeah,
think it's all paths for me that the outward form is so different, but the esoteric is the same. It's the same experience.
yeah. Well, the esoteric is more the inside and the internal journey,
Yeah.
which can also have some exoteric influence. Each one influences the other. Is that sort of what you're saying?
100%. Yeah, of course. You know, they're both. It's just like you're sort of looking at the Easter egg, not realizing that it's full of amazing stuff inside. You just look. It's just like the shell.
Okay. Yeah. So scriptures, that would be exoteric.
Scriptures are fantastic, aren't they? Because if you've got if you've had wisdom that's been recorded and put into the written word, and you can read that, that's a wonderful structure.
Yeah.
But but it's not. You don't want to. You're not divorcing that experience of the written word and the written wisdom from the actual lived experience of it inside of you, which is the whole point of that scripture being there, is to bring you into an experience.
Yeah.
So the
Into the lived
structures bring us
experience.
into experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Hmm.
seems like the it seems like the exoteric framework is like um it seems like order. Like it seems orderly to have this routine or this tradition or these ceremonies because I mean I feel like I've got a lot of spiritual practices, but I do a lot of it by myself. Uh and so within that, like within this, I feel like it's all just between me and myself a lot of the time. I mean, we're communicating here. Maybe I go to a yoga class or a retreat, but it feels like, from what I'm understanding, I do a lot of this esoteric inner work on my own. So I feel as though I don't have a church or a group or a community or a ceremony. And it feels like in the absence of that, like jumps in things like procrastination or I'll do it later or just weathering the storm by myself. And it seems like it can get a bit disorderly. I wouldn't say anything in my life is chaotic, but I'd say that it seems like that exoteric routine, just going to church or coming to hang out with you guys on a spiritual Sunday, um, it just seems like routine and pattern, and it's very orderly, and it all of the esoteric teachings I've ever heard about really promote things that are orderly, orderly spoken words, orderly feelings, sacred geometry, all the visuals, all the stuff just seems like, yeah, orderly.
So that's that's all like just fantastically interesting stuff to explore as well, isn't it? It's like the structures of the esoteric practices that give you that experience of connection. Of well, first of all, the first experience that starts to come is a feeling of peace. That's like the first sign that you get that your whatever practice you're doing is beginning to have an effect, because you start to feel peaceful, even though maybe some of the things in your life haven't changed very much. You still got struggles with this and that, and generally getting on with people's hard. Might have career problems, might have health problems, all those kind of life situational stuff. It's funny how it's all still there, but you've got a peace around it, and that's one of the first signs that anybody starts to have when they start engaging in the experiential side of any any spiritual path. So that what we're calling esoteric, which just means the inner work that you do.
And exoteric, there can also be peace generated from that as well. So knowing that, there's a sense of consistency that can happen with that. Like you do this, then this, then this, then this. And that can bring a sense of order, and that can bring a sense of comfort, and that can bring a sense of inner peace as well.
I think, yeah, some of my what we'll call it esoteric work or this inner work that I've done is synonymous with the entire self-help category of thinking. And so like when I started realizing, uh, I don't know, I've got a say in this, like just growing my consciousness, and I wasn't, it wasn't just a mixture of like all the automatic thoughts I'm having and just all the automatic feelings I'm having and not knowing what's going on here. That like it just seemed like every day was a bit of a steamroll. And then when you start to realize like, oh, you can separate yourself from this, like you can practice thinking about those awful things like calmly. You can just think about something bad and be separate from it. Like even just that little ounce of self-control or control over the situation was like it was like a crack in the dam, and things kind of go from there. So slowly, things kind of happen from there. So it was like one, iota of comfort in this whole thing we call life, right? There's so many sources of discomfort, you know, jobs I hadn't liked, or relationships that I found tough, or uh, anything. Life is just so many. It's just so full of things. So, oh, like esoteric, there's something that can give my psyche some comfort, or something that give my soul some comfort. Yeah. Ergo, just opening the door for a spiritual life.
Mm. Wow. I love that crack in the dam because for me that speaks to how from a kind of when you're in that place of pain and you don't and your life's really so uncomfortable, it's hard to really think straight. You don't conceive that you can change everything and you can suddenly become almost like a different version of yourself because it seems like such a big job. You're going to change all of that, but actually, that crack in the dam is really nice. It's because it's like if you could just find that one, you can just find a little thing that you can do that's different in terms of whatever it is, appreciation or self acceptance or whatever it is, or some kind of routine that can help you in terms of meditation or exercise or stretching, breathing. That one little thing can be a crack in the dam, and then this process, or cracking a dam, or mixing metaphors, you could say a seed that gets planted and then it starts to grow by itself. You know,
Hmm.
so it's not that we have to do the whole thing; we just have to do the little thing, that little thing that's just a little bit more loving and a little bit different. And this is part of the esoteric understanding of religions. And using the word religion, I think it's important to use that word because it's been misused so much. A person, it just felt wrong to be religious when I saw so many people. I just have to say it out loud. I mean, it's not a controversial view. We're seeing so many people like kind of using religion in order to kind of divide people and hurt people and control people. And that's something that made me very, very anti-religious. And I would just say, oh, I'm spiritual, I'm spiritual, I'm spiritual, I'm spiritual. But actually, from my experiences, you get to a point where you realize you need the exoteric stuff as well to help you because it's good to follow a particular esoteric path. It's good to, you follow the Christian esoteric inner path, or you follow the Buddhist inner path, or you follow the shamanic inner path, or you follow the, whatever inner path it is. It's good to have a structure. When I was with the Sufis studying with them, they said, it's good to have a string to keep all your pearls on. So it's like, and they would say like, either, you don't have to choose our path, but choose a path and follow it.
When I was younger, I didn't understand religion. And I had gone to Sunday school and I'd gone to church, oh, no, like a number of times. I found for most of my life that anything I was told about in religion didn't seem to match up with my like the inner workings of myself. Just seemed like when I was younger, it was Like perhaps I was driven by ego, perhaps I was driven by my mind a lot or my ideas. And I just felt like just whatever I feel and know seems to be the way. It just didn't match up with religion a lot. As I started to like after a few years or like a long time of practicing, trying to step away from my ego and trying to ex just trying to learn as much as I can. And with enough esoteric practice, I started to, and then at studying religion too, reading a bit of the Bible, reading a bit of other religious texts, and starting to pay a different kind of attention at church. I would go sometimes still. Like now later in life, they start to line up. So before it was like I couldn't pair them, and now it seems like religion and all the inner workings, my synchronistic signs I see out there. Now it seems like they're starting to line up. And now it seems like um the exoteric practice, like if it was done really well, would synergize with my esoteric understanding of the world. Like how it comes to me, all the stuff that happens inside. Yeah. Also a bit of a rant, yeah.
No, these are not rants. These are very good. Which praxis? I mean, that's a big word. So praxis is like the kind of the things that you value, your priorities. Um, you could say beliefs, but in a way, yeah, I mean, it's good to believe in things, but the beliefs can be the exoteric thing. It's like, I believe this, I believe this, I believe in, I mean, so, just for an example. So if you see somebody saying, I'm a follower of Christ, I believe in what Jesus taught, and then you sort of go around being really mean to people, then, that's not praxis. Because praxis is where you put what you believe into practice.
Yeah. Yeah. What comes to mind is like I can imagine, yeah, people, I guess I'm gonna think about it in esoteric, exoteric words now. People, someone that may live on the, I believe in God, I believe in religion, they go to church, they they do all the exoteric stuff, but they don't, yeah, actually truly have those values embedded in their DNA.
Which is okay. It's absolutely okay. I'm not saying that that's wrong. I'm just saying it's good to understand where what how you're relating to these things. Because
Yeah.
I think there's a tendency to say, oh, religious people, they're hypocrites. They do that. They say they believe this and then they do that. And I'm going, well, just he was without sin cast the first stone. But just get clear on where you're at and how that's all working out. Because, for instance, you could be the son. I'm not. My parents didn't push anything onto me, but you could be. I think it's quite a big thing for people in North America to have a family that are very, very strong on one particular path, and for the children to be kind of recoil from that path because they're only understanding the exoteric stuff, and the esoteric stuff isn't really being practiced because people don't know about it, or it just seems whatever, the culture, whatever. And I just think it'd be good. I just think it's really good to embrace religion, but a balanced one that's both exoteric and esoteric, that is understands the common unity of all esoteric practices.
I was wondering what, as you're discussing that, I was wondering the next question I was going to ask you was, I wonder if you could get too lost on one side of the spectrum, like too head focused on the exoteric ways of living, and then could you get too lost on the other direction? Could you just go so far into esoteric work and beliefs, calling it spiritual work, and you just kind of you're down this endless road of by yourself, and you separate from community and religious talks like in a negative way. Maybe he goes, and so I was just thinking of the balance too. And you just said it. It's like
Yeah.
this balance of kind
You
of
need
both
them
things.
both. Yeah, I think you do. I think the answer is yes, you can, because you need both, and we do need both. This is we gather like this on a Sunday, and this is should we? Ooh, sorry, I was wondering, should we? Do you want to talk about? Because we've got about another sort of 10 minutes of the sort of podcast section before we go. If anybody wants to join us, if you're interested in the conversation, we do continue in a private Zoom meeting where you can just join in. If you go to coursesforspirit.ca, so that's courses and FOR, the word, coursesforspirit.ca, and if you go to the workshops page and just click on the Zoom link, once we stop live streaming, you'll come straight in.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see some people are starting to come in now. And for people who come in now, maybe just keep your cameras off and your microphones off. So, because you don't really want to be part of the live stream. If you do want to be part of the live stream, that's okay as well. Because I think I was thinking that, because the exoteric side of things, like part of Courses for Spirit is to be able to, is to provide at least some kind of a structure. And what we were talking about earlier was that what we might do is like have a shared practice for the week where we're exploring a particular question, and then we'll discuss how that went for us over the week, and we'll be inviting you guys who are out, on YouTube to do the same thing, to play with the same thing, same kind of practices, and then we can provide some kind of exoteric structure for each other. That was the idea, I think. There must be a simpler way of saying it.
Yeah. Well, exoterically, I think that's quite accurate. Can have certain categories that do something specific.
Yeah.
I think then esoterically, which would be more the internal practice within the small group, then basically whatever your experience is, your lived experience, and then sharing that.
So why don't we do that? I want to hear from Mason before we finish with a guided meditation, if you're happy to do that, because part of what we're doing is practice together. So a meditation is a good thing. And then what we're saying is, so we're gonna once we finish with the meditation, if anybody wants to join us in the Zoom, they can do, and that's where we'll discuss what the practice that we're going to put into experience over the week. And so if you want to be part of that conversation, then join us after the meditation. How does that sound?
Sure. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. And we have Jane has joined us, and she likes the idea as well. So
Nice to see you, Jane. Nice that you're here. Nice energy.
yeah. And before and also I think what's important to put out is that this isn't like something that we've really planned particularly. It's kind of what's coming up in the moment. These ideas are just kind of popping now, aren't they, to do things like this. So I think there's something about so that's the esoteric practice of being in the moment and seeing what emerges as we kind of go on that journey together.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, one thing we've got for these group discussions is authenticity. It's a pretty sweet ingredient. So I don't know, it's fine. Do you guys want to do a meditation now then?
I would, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It'd be nice.
Okay, let's do that. And then we'll just jump in our group after, but we'll just close the live stream with the meditation, I guess. So yeah, I'll just ask you to get comfortable. if you want to sit down or lay down for this. But just make yourself comfortable and just allow your body to get comfortable with a few breaths. Just try to take a few breaths, like right now. And as you exhale with your breaths, just know where your body might want to sink or it might want to adjust, where there might be something uncomfortable, or there might be something relaxed. So just try to accept this seated position, this laying down position as your place for the next 10 minutes, few minutes, whichever. And just start to notice your breath and enter into a meditative state how you normally would. Try to try to allow your breath to be as comfortable and as relaxed as possible, kind of in the background. Kind of keep your breath tethered to your awareness and kind of keep your body tethered to your awareness. Try to just right now notice your breath and your body. And as those two systems sit there operating in this present moment, just a quick gratitude, a quick appreciation for just this system, just sitting, just being able to breathe and sit, and just having this be a form of stability just for a few moments. And try to imagine this routine, kind of comfortable breath, this comfortable seated position. Try to imagine this system you have right now as an open door. Try to imagine this as an open door, this platform, this space that you're creating within yourself, this space that's created between all of us right now. You can think of it as the space on the internet that we're connected. You can think of it as the time and space that you're sitting in at your house, wherever you are right now. You can think of it as consciousness, as this space, this emotional space within yourself that's different from everything else I just said, everything else I mentioned. You can think about it however you want. Try to think about your breath and your comfort as this open door, as an open window, as a mode of receiving. And part of this esoteric work we've been discussing today is this work that's between you and yourself, this work that's between you and the outer world, the universe, spirit, a higher power. And as you meditate, as you breathe, as you use your awareness to give energy to this space that you're sitting in right now, that you're existing in right now, try to be an open door and invite some of this esoteric messaging to come to you. You can download it. You can listen to it. You can listen for the signals inside your body. With your breath and your body tethered to your awareness right now, try to pay attention to what's coming up. What's coming up through your body right now? What message does the universe, does this space, what message does the present moment want to give to you right now? And what signal is it sending through your body? Are you comfortable? Are you uncomfortable? Is it a clear message that hits you like a lightning bolt? Or is something just soft and fuzzy and not so clear coming up? Do you need to sit with this longer? Do you need to open the door even further? Do you need to be more welcoming? Maybe you want to take a deeper breath through the nose with awareness. And maybe you just want to exhale love and calmness into the space. Maybe you want to take a deep breath in through the nose now and exhale love and calmness into your space, where you're sitting, in your home, in your environment. Maybe you want to breathe that welcoming, nurturing, calm and steady energy into the consciousness space, into this space for the group. Whatever you feel like you need to do right now with this space, just try to understand that this space is for you. Even if your job is to monitor and manage your breath and your body in this space. Even if you don't have instructions or a plan that's downloading or a message that's coming to you right now, maybe you just need to acclimate to this space. Maybe acclimating to this space, your own space, is your practice for today. Maybe that's what today is about. Maybe that's what it's for you. Maybe something feels safe enough to come to you in this space. Maybe with a calm body and calm breath, your mind can release some of the answers into this space. Maybe something's come up for you in this short time that you want to take with you for the rest of the day. Maybe you just caught a glimpse of something important that you want to come back to. With this space, with this look into yourself, I want to invite you to just come back to the group. Bring your awareness back to the group as we'll collect for a moment and depart. And just notice subtly right now, are you bringing anything back with you? Are you leaving everything there? Was this space helpful for you to take a look? Was this collective practice felt in your body? And so with that, our intention is to say, have a wonderful day, have a wonderful time, have a wonderful week ahead. We'll come back to this next week. Even though this space particularly might be a week away, it is just the beginning of an exoteric union that could represent routine or structure or order for all of us. And even once a week, we'll see what that momentum can generate. So we'll start that intention with this space today.
Thank you, Mason.
That, great. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome, Jim.
Cool. Thank you. Awesome. Yeah. So if you want to come and join us live on Zoom, we're going to be having a discussion about what we're going to put, what practices we're going to have a little play with over the course of the week, which will then be the subject of next week's conversation. And if you can't join us live, don't worry about it. Do just come and join us either on the replays or live. It'd be great to have you live, but you will be able to watch the replays and join in yourself that way. So, anything else before we click off for today?
No.
A
Thank
million
you, everybody.
things always. Yeah, but also goodbye.
Cool. Thank you so much for that, Mason. That was awesome. Okay, so courses for spirit, the word FOR, courses for spirit.ca, stands for Canada, workshops, Zoom link, and then you can join in the conversation. Okay.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Ciao.